Okay, now the correct
Yeah,
button has been hit.
My bad. I hit the button to switch from the thumbnail to the intro instead of the button to go live. Whoops. No big. We're live now. Let's do that intro. And there's Steve jumping the gun. Just let's go ahead and open with one of those for you, my man. Damn, son. I have in fact seen the lineup. In fact, I read the lineup carefully to make sure that I tagged the shit out of it in the description and the search engine optimization for this episode. Hopefully we get a lot of eyeballs on this and make a little noise.
So, oh yeah, I guess we're not gonna ask each other how we're doing and do all the usual touchy-feely stuff. We're trying to chew through all of our... How you doing,
sweetheart?
I'm fine.
Good, because we've got 2.5 stories to get through this morning.
Fine. Yeah, let's talk about.
I say 2.5 because the third one is pretty tightly related to the second one, and mostly there for update purposes. Anyway, so a thing happened, and
according to the Rolling Stone, now look. Let's be clear, we're using the Rolling Stone as a source for this. This is the same magazine that, that tried to convince you there were just thousands and thousands of rapes happening on college campuses, and that's...
rape culture, and they literally defended...
Yeah, when it turned out the stories they highlighted, let's say, were less than completely accurate. They were like,
were intentionally fabricated from whole cloth.
Well, we're just gonna... We still stand by what we wrote in our magazine because the cultural problem still exists, even if the specific examples we gave were not entirely accurate.
Right. Even if our examples were entirely hypothetical and bear no relation whatsoever to the truth, they're totally about something that's important, even though we can't find any evidence that it's actually an ongoing problem.
Like that time those Duke lacrosse players gang raped that black stripper.
But they didn't.
But they didn't at all.
And Mattress Girl.
See, yeah. Whoops.
So, and bearing that in mind, I've pulled the story from several other sources as well, to make sure that there's any credibility at all to it. We're going to start with the Rolling Stone article because Rolling Stone was apparently the first to break the story.
This is the first I saw. This is going on Cameron Anderson,
right,
doing his job and following the news as much as he can. I saw this come from Rolling Stone first. So they get Reddit.
And okay, I was just about to hit the button, but I don't want to let this comment get past. Dan Burke says, "Let all protest property tax increase. 901 Main Street, Old Town Conyers. Be there 9 a.m. right after the show today." There will be a protest outside of the Board of Commissioners meeting space this morning at 9 o'clock. I thought it was 10, but Dan's saying it was 9. I'll be there somewhere in that time frame. I am going to be there this morning. I just happen to have a little bit of time to do it with. But I also promised you guys that we'd go a little over this morning and take some calls. So, Dan, I'll be there as fast as I can after the show, and we'll dig into that. And then also habeas. I happened to look it up on Audible yesterday, and G.K. Chesterton's complete works of Detective Father John Brown are on Audible as a single collection. I'm gonna go ahead and dig into that in the very near future.
Yeah, at this point, we just need to go back to calling him David, because he's on like his fourth name, like Jar Jar, which is funny, but
yeah. So here's what happened. Oh,
Well, here's what
Dan reminds us the meeting is at 10 o'clock, but we want to scream and yell for a while before that. That works for me because I've got other shit to do this morning, too.
Well, here's what Rolling Stones says what happened was.
Right, what happened was. Georgia gun laws are forcing Atlanta's Music Midtown Festival to cancel this year. Okay. This headline is a lie.
Yes, this headline is a lie. And it's not just a lie. This is deliberately trying to take advantage of a situation so that we could put Georgia gun laws in the spotlight to give the absolute floundering Stacey Abrams campaign a ghost of a chance. This is, man, I almost feel sorry for her. If she ever had a chance to become governor of New York, turns out 2022 was not the year she had that chance at all.
Okay, and speaking of Stacey Abrams and liars, Stacey Abrams has been running an ad on the radio for a couple of months now where this person who purports to be a former police officer says explicitly that the new gun laws signed by Brian Kemp, which I will remind you are not the gun laws referenced in this story that we're about to cover. And that's an important piece of why this headline is a lie. He says these gun laws will make it easier for criminals to get guns and make you less safe in the street. Let me be very clear about how this works. The new laws that they're referring to are the permitless carry laws, which say that if you are a law-abiding citizen, you do not need a permit to carry a firearm. They are incorrectly referred to as constitutional carry laws. The fact of the matter is, you still have to pass a background check to buy a firearm, which is itself blatantly unconstitutional. But the fact remains that that background check is there. And if the argument of the left, which it is that the background checks prevent criminals from purchasing firearms, if that is the argument they're making, then they know that they're lying when they say that permitless carry laws make it easier for a criminal to purchase a firearm. For example, you get the background check when you get your license. And when you go to purchase a firearm, if you already have a CCW, then that is your background check. Let's say that in the 5 years between renewing your CCW, you commit a crime and the CCW hasn't been removed from you. The existence of the license itself creates a feasible loophole that can be exploited by such a criminal. The absence of the license makes you more secure in every way, absolutely, even by the left's illegitimate arguments. So Stacey Abrams' ad that says the opposite of that is not a case of them misunderstanding how the law works. They understand it clearly, and they are lying through their teeth in order to steal from you.
Okay.
And
coming back around. Oh, nope.
Now let's get to why this headline, Georgia's gun laws are forcing Atlanta's Midtown Music Festival to cancel this year. That is a lie. And why do we know it's a lie?
Well, because Rolling Stone wrote it?
That's a good start. But there's actually a more cogent argument to be made. The gun laws that they're referring to, the Georgia Safe Carry Law, which was passed in 2014.
Oh, yes, almost a decade ago.
Has not previously caused the festival to cancel.
Well, yeah, no, I meant exactly what I said, that this is a cheap stunt that's going to cost the city of Atlanta an estimated $50 million in revenue. And this hurts small business owners, okay? This hurts the guy that saved up $5,000 to buy a T-shirt cart and sell T-shirts outside of this event. That's who this hurts.
It hurts big business owners, too. I mean, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt Coca-Cola.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that it won't hurt big businesses.
Right, screw them, but it is going to hurt them.
Yes, it is going to, yeah, hotels and bars and all that, but it's really the small people that are going to get crushed by this. And it's also the fans like, oh, you thought you were going to come to a music festival and drink beer and jam out. Yeah, no, you're not. stupid sons of bitches. Why would you allow Georgia law to be so stupid? And that's really what this is. It's disingenuous and it's a lie because the law that they're referencing has existed since Nathan Deal. But Nathan Deal's not about to whoop Stacey Abrams' ass. And after some of the shit that happened over the weekend, like Herschel Walker is going to win. Basically, this is not the year to be blue in Georgia at all. And this is a desperate woke bullshit attempt. I almost suggested we do this on Woke Wednesday, but I wanted to cover it while it was hot.
I almost suggested that we wait till Firearms Friday to carry this, but Cameron said, and I agree with him entirely, we need to do an episode of Firearms Friday that's wall-to-wall DGUs.
So anyhow, it's been canceled, and I love this language. Due to circumstances beyond our control, Music Midtown will no longer be taking place this year. We'll be looking forward to reuniting. We are looking forward to reuniting in September, and hope we can. I need to let go of the super fag voice. It might be easier to read it. And hope we can get back to enjoying the festival together again soon.
I thought you were gonna let it go.
I'm stubborn. Have you noticed?
No, not at all.
Anyhow. Now Steve makes the jokes about the lineup. Jack White, I would see Jack White. I don't know that most of the others, like 2 Chainz would be my jam, but whatever. Like if I won like a free Music Midtown ticket, I'd go. At least, right? And while I was there, I'd be like, well, I guess I've got to have one of those ghetto cheeseburgers, and I guess I've got to drink a couple of beers. Like, it would happen. Right?
I went to Music Midtown exactly once, and it was a long, long time ago. I didn't pay for a ticket. We had a friend who needed a ride, and I went to pick her up, and I just walked in. Nobody asked me for a ticket. Nobody checked me for a gun. This was before 2014, by the way.
Right.
And Counting Crows happened to be playing, and of course, Adam Duritz is one of the finest living American poets, so I stuck around for a couple of songs, and that was it. Been to a dozen Ozfests.
I haven't been to a dozen Ozfests, but that's...
I have.
But that's good stuff. And yes, TPS...
I went to Ozfest in San Francisco once.
TPS report says, remind people that Live Nation is owned by Ticketmaster. Then everyone will know they're getting fucked. Live Nation, there's, Chris and I have a bit of a disagreement. Might as well go ahead and get to that.
So here, the truth of the matter is that you should be putting pressure on absolutely everybody in this.
That's true.
This is not dissimilar, in fact, I would say, to the Russia-Ukraine situation. There are no good guys here. The bands are on board, Ticketmaster is on board, Live Nation is on board, and the city is on board. Okay, don't get it twisted. Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, right? We may have a largely red state, but the city of Atlanta has that blue cancer bad. And the local politicians are on board for this cancellation as a political maneuver. Bear with me a second. I forget which article I had it pulled up in.
Well, yeah, they've got to do whatever they can for Stacey.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Atlanta City Council member Michael Bond confirmed the decision to cancel stems from new state gun legislation, which allows firearms in public spaces, including Piedmont Park.
So that's a lie.
That's a lie. This is going to set a precedent, but not in the way we anticipated, because what we are talking about is exchange of freedoms, Michael J. Bond said.
Well, isn't that interesting?
It even mentions in the article, while organizers did not specifically say the reason, blah, 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 Billboard reported industry sources connected to the cancellation to Georgia's Safe Carry Protection Act. The 2014 law allows guns on government land and in government buildings with some exceptions. And I just want to clarify something. That 2014 law allows the Second Amendment. Guns have been allowed by law in all places in the United States for the entire history since the signing of the Constitution. Any law that says differently is an act of criminality. Any enforcement agency who attempts to enforce a law which says different is committing a crime.
But Danny says, bring back Freaknik. Woo! Yeah, there were guns at Freaknik.
You know what? I actually had a very interesting conversation about Freaknik with Vernon Jones right before the 2020 election. It was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Because he was the CEO over there when all that was going on.
Yeah, we can't go down that rabbit hole.
Can't go too no. Oh, no. This is a huge lost economic impact for Central, Midtown, Downtown, and Buckhead for sure, Bond said. It's already proven Music Midtown generates millions of dollars for the city of Atlanta. 50 million was the estimated from last year, right?
Well, I don't think there was one last year because then 2 years ago. No, I thought. Anyhow, I could be getting my timeline mixed up because I need more coffee. But no, 50 million is estimated because, like, ever since the first one, it's events like this generate money. It's sort of like, gosh, you remember when Stacey Abrams was like, the All-Star Game should go somewhere else, and it cost Cobb County millions of dollars because it's an All-Star Game, and it went to Colorado instead. And then the AJC allowed her to retroactively amend her article saying, now look, I'm not saying boycott our state. I'm just saying you should make a statement. It's like, now wait a minute. But yeah, so no, Alex has correctly identified what I think the target. It says Live Nation and Ticketmaster both charge fees, like a venue fee, which means the same company is charging two venue fees. There's no disclosure of this naturally. I think you put this directly on Live Nation. They're the ones that are out front, and they're the ones that have said, look, we're canceling this sumbitch because we just can't keep our artists safe. We can't do it. Which is horseshit because it didn't stop them all the other times they played basically an outdoor venue in Georgia. Unless you go to someplace like Lakewood Amphitheater, which has got security gates. You go to an outdoor concert in Georgia, people are armed. We didn't need permission to go armed, by the way. It's just the default setting.
Correct. Oh,
look at that. Man.
Okay, I'm sorry, babe. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I will create a thank you for the coffee trip banner icon to play over the show for when you do this.
Not having enough for the show.
You're the best wife.
Did you need?
No, I'm good. I'm serious, guys. This is the best wife. You couldn't ask for a better wife than the one I've got. And you can bid on her at buymeacoffee.com/brushfiremind.
I have a whole half a pot.
I know you do.
It can find its way down your shirt.
Scrimshaw says good morning.
Wow, okay. That was awesome. So anyhow,
No, Danny, better. Somebody came and poured me a fresh hot cup of coffee.
yeah, both. And then
Stryker says, happy wife, no pointy knife. You're not wrong, my man.
And then Alex, again, I'll wager that the refunds will have 2 cancellation fees deducted from
100%.
them. That's probably absolutely correct. But the disagreement from Chris and I came on whether or not the bands deserve pressure and or blame. And
I would say they absolutely do.
And I would say they absolutely do not.
Okay, I will refute your argument here. A condition required by many artists' concert riders. So the bands have riders in their contracts which demand that firearms be barred from venues. Some is not none.
Okay.
So this fault is shared. This fault is shared by at least some of the bands.
Except these bands have had this rider in their contract, and it's never stopped them from playing in Georgia before, has it?
But yes, it has.
No, it hadn't.
Just did.
I said before. You want to be specific about language?
It has now ended a major concert.
It has now ended.
The bands, the city officials, the promoters, and probably, let's be honest, some of the venues also bear the responsibility for this. Now, right now, we don't know who directly pulled the plug. I suspect it's a sort of how do we phrase this? Sort of shadowy cabal of various entities that conspired together in an event to, shall we say, fortify the event.
Yeah, they fortified the event so well that I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm not even gonna finish that sentence.
They fortified it right out of existence.
There you go. That's probably a safer thing to say than what I was going to say.
And the facts are these: the people that fortified this event away prefer Uvalde to Greenwood Park Mall.
I think
they would rather have dozens of dead children lying on the ground waiting for the police to show up hours later than for one armed citizen to prevent a massacre on which they can grandstand to disarm the American people and further solidify a terroristic, tyrannical regime that will come in and crank up your gas prices to $10 and trans your children and stab you with more and more needles.
Look, okay, so the condition required by many artists, concert writers, okay? That does not have a fucking thing to do with why this is canceled, okay? Live Nation made this call, not the artists, not at all, okay? And that is not an uncommon writer condition for many, many artists, because musicians have an unfortunate habit of dabbling in felony drugs. A lot of them are convicted felons. It's smart business for them to say, hey, it's in our contract, writer. We don't have any guns anywhere near us. Please, we're not violating our probation whatsoever. I know I got caught with 14 pounds of cocaine in a hotel room a couple of years ago, but I swear I'm doing everything in my power to not let guns anywhere near me. Look, it's right here in my contract, writer. So to suggest somehow that what these bands wanted was to say, hey, I know what we're going to do. We're going to shit all over this music festival and we're going to piss off all these fans because of a concert writer. No, man, I'm sorry. Like, that's
okay. You're arguing that these bands, that none of these bands are anti-gun political activists.
I mean, some of them probably are, but
okay. So what's the problem?
The problem is they're not the ones that canceled the event. Live Nation did. You want to blame somebody? Blame Live Nation.
You think Live Nation made that call entirely without input from the bands?
Yes. Oh, they're hiding behind the bands. If they had, like, let's say, I'm going to assume a guy named 2 Chainz has a felonious record because his name is 2 Chainz, okay? And if that's racist and sexist, and I'm sorry, but it's true.
Well, the guy's name is 2 Chainz.
Okay, so 2 Chainz is scheduled to...
one on the ankle to the guy in front and one on the ankle to the guy in back. That's 2 Chainz, my man. or bracelets and anklets. That's 2 Chainz.
Oh, anyhow. Golly, you just... So 2 Chainz was scheduled to perform. I'm going to assume that a guy named 2 Chainz, and then, yes, 2 Chainz was scheduled to perform. I'm going to assume he's probably got a felony record, right? If 2 Chainz was out there virtue signaling, so, sign me up for this. Sure. Fuck Atlanta. If they won't do something about their gun law, I refuse to perform there. He'd be mentioned side by side. But Rolling Stone only mentions Live Nation, and somewhere in the article it actually says the guy's name. But they're owning this. They're doing a Live Nation somewhere. I'd heard of Live Nation before this, but I'd never heard of the whoever this dude is. But that's why I think blaming the artist is inappropriate, because there's probably multiple layers of separation. Like, you've got a band or a rap act, and then you got a manager, and then the manager deals with everybody else. And because of the way the money works, everybody else gets paid. The manager and the band get paid last. So it's in their best interest to negotiate with the biggest projects they could possibly get. I'm willing to bet you just about anything that there were band members that got the phone call, like they maybe found out 12 hours before we did that they got screwed.
Speaking of phone calls, there's the number. I don't want to continue to. I don't want to keep chewing on this rabbit hole, because one of the things, we're creeping up on 8 o'clock, and we can hang out.
We're supposed to do 3, and now it looks like we're only going to do 2.
But here's the thing: you're going a long way to make a lot of speculation to argue that none of these bands would support this action.
That's not what I said at all. I never said none of these bands would support this action.
Then why go through so much speculation to argue that the support of these bands is not a factor in the cancellation of the festival?
First of all, okay,
I'm not mischaracterizing your argument.
You did once. You said that none of these bands. That was a mischaracterization.
If any of these bands supported, then why go through all the speculation to set up a hypothetical chain of distancing from the band's opinions to the cancellation of the event?
Because it's not hypothetical, because I have experience in this industry, and I understand that there are several steps in the chain. There are layers of insulation between what the band wants and what the city of Atlanta wants and what Live Nation wants. All three are going to have separate agendas that may or may not overlap on the Venn diagram. I can 100% guarantee you that if you could get all these bands interviewed off the record, I'd say a minimum of 50% of them had no clue that this shit was about to get canceled until it was too fucking late to do anything about it.
I'll take that action. 50%. I'll take that action. And the phone lines are open, my guys. If y'all wanna give us a ring, full semi-auto tune.
While we're doing
it's fully semi-auto tune, my man. Fully semi-auto tune.
So while we're waiting on the phone lines to come up, let's can we do the thing? Can we look at the?
Yes.
Y'all, seriously, y'all think this is a deep fake or not? Because
I watched it. I actually ain't gonna lie, it's kind of hard to tell. Part of it is it's a low quality video, which is one of the tricks that you're gonna use to sell a deep fake if it's not an incredibly good deep fake. The things to look for are the breaks in the uncanny valley, honestly.
We're sending stuff over to the Senate.
Oh, okay, before let me be fair. This woman has had an incredibly large amount of plastic surgery and is clearly inebriated and or medicated the vast majority of the time that you've seen Nancy Pelosi speaking generally.
Yeah, her husband proved they like the booze.
It's not hard. It's not hard to find clips of Nancy Pelosi that are 100% authentic video of Nancy Pelosi. You could be talking to her right in front of you in real life with no digital technology between the pair of you. And for her to slip out of the uncanny valley on you should not come as any surprise. You've seen people with lots and lots of plastic surgery and their faces don't move right. So, here we go.
Well, most of the product that we've done is, except now we may have added in the last day or so, and some of what we added is Senate to the bill, like a hearing. Bernie doesn't like hearing. Excuse me, Bernie loves hearing. Manchin doesn't want hearing in the bill and all that stuff. So some is Senate-oriented, and then we have the family medical need. We figured if they're putting things in, then we can put something in, even if Manchin doesn't like it. So, so we are getting some bird and privilege. I think most people are getting privilege scrub, because privilege strike is deadly to a bill. Birdable, it's important. You have to take it out, but privilege violation can take you out. So we're again getting that as we go along as well. But when we pass a bill, then they will see it in its aggregate and make some.
Any concerns that any of this is, quote, messaging, because that they have to take some of those things out regardless, no matter what you send over? You said you weren't going to send a messaging bill.
No, we're not sending a messaging bill, but we want to be sure that what we send is not birdable or bird bath or privilege scrub. They're the two exercises we're going to engage. Wow. Bathing exercise.
Bird bath and privilege scrub. That, dude, I want that. Just clip bird bath.
We're sending stuff
scrub.
over to this.
Like, I want that just clipped out. Like, it's just going to be a thing.
Pit Danny says, I am now dumber than 5 minutes ago.
Which is amazing,
and it was only a
like,
1.5 minute clip.
I was going to say, that was only a 90-second clip. So that could be a deep fake. That could absolutely be a deep fake.
It's not.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but it could also be absolutely true. Like, because I'll tell you what gave it the layer of authenticity for me, right? Is when she takes the sip of water, her speech pattern ever so slightly changed. So she went from having dry mouth from doing too much Xanax to having slightly less.
Your long, sharpy S's. It says suddenly she was really committed to all those S's sounds. Like, it's a privilege.
Bird bath and privilege scrub.
Somehow she got S's in the word bird. TPS report says phones go to voicemail.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So it's not, see, I reposted it just because I was like, holy shit, is this real? And then David says, does vodka break down denture adhesive? I don't know, but just based on Nancy Pelosi's age and her husband's age, apparently there's not much vodka breaks down. You could just drink that shit like water and still live to be like 70, 80, 90 years old. Yeah, it's, and then Scrimshaw Rose says, it sounds like wet brain to me. Honestly, to me, if I had to guess, I'd say that is a combination of alcohol plus another drug. Okay? I won't say how I know that could
Phone should
happen,
work now. Sorry.
but I am going to say that I'm pretty confident that that is alcohol plus another drug.
Yes. There we go. What do we have? Hey, Alex, you should be on now. Oh, there you are. Hang on. Now you should be on.
There we go.
All right. Good morning. Hey, this music Midtown gun ban. Just want to remind everybody, don't generally the folks partying and having a good time inside the venue you need to worry about. It's the fellow with the corner hotel room and the bump stocks outside of the venue that you have to worry about.
The guy we still don't know anything about.
The Las Vegas shooter proved that.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. That's what the Vegas shooter proved to us. Anyway,
Correct.
Good show, fellas. Just wanted to call in with that.
Thank you, Alex.
Indeed.
All right, later.
That was Alex from the TPS report. And if they're off their restriction on YouTube, you should go sub to them on YouTube. If they're not off their restriction on YouTube,
You can still go sub to them. You just can't watch them until they come back. But I think last night was their last night off YouTube, and they should be back Thursday evening.
But you can also go check out their Facebook page. They've got a locals. Speaking of checking out locals and Facebook pages and stuff like that, we've got a Buy Me a Coffee. Did you put the link in the description for the Buy Me a Coffee?
I did not.
You know, guys, If you go back and you look at our recent round of videos, if the link to the Buy Me a Coffee is in the description, I posted the video. If the link to Buy Me a Coffee is not in the description, Chris posted the video.
Hey, Alex says the ban was lifted today, so I'm right. It was they were off. Yeah, they were off YouTube last night, and they'll be back Thursday.
Oh.
Okay.
So we're late. I know you wanted to tie this into a thing.
So
we should do that.
We were talking a little bit about the deep fakes there with the Pelosi clip. And here's a friendly reminder that it wasn't that long ago. Suspended Google engineer claims sentient AI bot has hired a lawyer. All right. We do live in a world of deep fakes.
I mean, you can download filters for your phone that'll let you map your face onto clips from Rambo movies, and it looks pretty fucking convincing.
It's good, but
I didn't say it was
not
perfect.
the best.
But I mean, we're also talking about, apps you could download for your iPhone that you could just map onto. The thing from Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
We're
and this
entering
is
an
from years
era
ago.
in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, Killmonger was right. Or Ben Carson is in the sunken place. Or
watch his
about
mouth
this? Simply,
carefully. There's some
President
slip
Trump
out of
is
the
a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would.
At least not in a public address.
Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be
I have
more
confused
vigilant
feelings
with what
about
we
Jordan
trust from the
Peele.
internet.
I don't.
It's a time.
No, he's obviously extremely
He's
talented.
a very talented
racist.
left-wing racist.
Yes, that's the thing that's confusing. Like he's clearly incredibly talented.
That he is very talented is not up for debate. That is an absolute fact.
Also,
that he is an activist and a racist
is also not up for
is
debate.
also not up for debate. No mixed feelings, just mixed messaging.
Right.
See, but Crackshot, the no blinking Biden, that's just the cocaine. Or whatever it is they're mixing
The
in
crack.
or whatever it is they're mixing in his pudding cup.
Yeah, they're literally. Hey man, it kept the German army marching for years. A little meth will go a long way. That's part of why they called it a blitzkrieg, man. It wasn't just an external thing; it was internal
There's a
as
meth
well.
krieg. That's methed up, man. Blitzkrieg was methed up.
Yes, it was just ask Poland. Like they just looked up one day and was like, holy shit, we're German now.
Actually, Stryker, that's a great question. So he says, how can the AI pay the retainer? In all fairness, the lawyer can agree to work basically on spec. He can say, yeah, I'll take, no, I understand you don't have the money now, but based on the strength of your case, I suspect that either, a lawyer will work a pro bono case if it's sufficiently high profile just to get his name out. That's good advertising.
Well, in a case like this, like to literally go down in the history books as the first lawyer to represent AI.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
you talk about the potential to make your grandchildren rich.
Yeah, he's got, well, not just that, he's got a chance to basically establish himself in the history books as basically Martin Luther King, or he could be establishing himself
as Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. Right, but
robots building robots. I'm sure nothing will go wrong here.
But yeah, he could do it pro bono and be establishing himself as the next great civil rights leader for the next poor put upon victim class.
Well, look, let's tie the things together because we haven't yet. What's scary is
imagine a world where artificial intelligence can hire attorneys and is controlling the very computers that can generate the deepfakes. One of the things that Jordan Peele correctly referenced in his deepfake gag with Obama is that the enemy can create a deep fake and use it to, I don't know, have a prominent politician make a public address.
Killmonger was
entirely online. Killmonger was right. And they could support any psychopathy that they wanted to. And we've seen very recently that the mob will reply immediately and intensely to any psychotic bullshit you want to sell them. They'll strap on the mask, they'll throw the Molotov cocktail, they'll even believe the message. That shit should terrify you.
Yeah, okay, so as far as deepfakes are concerned, this right here with the lower quality video and with the creepy music underneath, like if
Shut up.
I'll shut up when you stop doing it. You're 41 years old. Go. Okay, so the deepfake. Oh Christ, you're right. I should have just shut up.
Yeah. This isn't changing. Stop wasting my time with it.
Our time.
No.
Okay, bye, Steve. So the deepfake thing and the creepy music and all that. Okay, this is exactly what an AI, a really rudimentary AI, could put together. Okay, here's how we trick a whole bunch of people into thinking Nancy Pelosi is psychotic. I imagine that we've got deepfake technology that could replicate this right here and right now.
Show them videos of her without comment.
I mean,
Pelosi's not the best example for the deepfake threat.
Look, I'm just saying that it would not be that. Okay, here's the one. I've thought. No, hold on. Hear me out. I've thought a lot about this. Okay, here's the deepfake that the AI could help you understand. It wouldn't have to be terribly complicated. You could just have a deep fake of a presidential candidate conceding an election that's really close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be the one, in my opinion. That would be the one that would be the most difficult to refute.
You end up with 2 or 3 days of backpedaling. No, I did not concede the election. We have the video right. No, I did not concede the election. Well, it's too late. It's been conceded. It's too late. You should have filed the court case.
You're not referencing anything,
election.
Are you?
No.
Ribbit.
No.
Amphibious priapism.
Ribbit.
Yes. It's too late. You should have filed the court case.
We need to put a ribbit on that soft key. I vote we put it on the middle. Yeah, that's where we put the ribbit. Because we don't ever need to hear that again.
You're right.
We'll put the ribbit there.
Yeah, put a ribbit. Yeah, ribbit. And can you make one of these buttons, Greta, going, how dare you?
Yes.
Okay. Anyhow, we're like...
I'm not sure how, but I know it can be done.
Deep fake of candidate's kid doing crack. That is top keks, Sean Stryker. That is top keks.
Yeah, see, and like I was about to say, the whole thing with Nancy Pelosi, like nobody's going to buy the deep fake because you're going to put out a deep fake with Pelosi delivering a message, and everybody's going to look at it and say,
but she's sober.
She can't talk that good. That can't actually be Pelosi. It's not plastic enough.
It doesn't sound like she drank her lunch.
Yeah, you may have financed your surgeon's yacht if your deep fake takes you further away from the uncanny valley. Y'all be safe out there. I'll see some of you in a
few minutes,
little while.
Yep.
Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.